Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode of Cycling Insider, I want to talk about another interesting bike from Canyon, 2019 Canyon Endurace CF-SL Disc 8.0. And I have to say thank you to one of the listeners who pointed out to me to this bike, because I somehow just missed it and didn't feature it before, but it's worth featuring this bike because when you are buying a bike in this price range, you will definitely need to consider the Canyon Endurace CF-SL Disc 8.0. As always, Canyon and other bike manufacturers, they just love to have this mouthful of bike names for 2019. But jokes aside, let's see what this bike is all about. So first thing first, this is the Canyon's Endurace range. So in the Endurace range, everything is geared towards the comfort and long days in the saddle. So these bikes might be a bit heavier than their all-in race bikes, but this is the price you pay to have this smoothness in the carbon fiber frame and fork. So recently, as I'm noticing now, Canyon has kind of updated their website, so it looks a bit more flashy and kind of a bit more video and photos involved, but it's a bit kind of clunky to work with. The previous one was much more simpler to work around as a user experience, but it is what it is. So some of the headline numbers for this bike are, first of all, the price, 2,250 British pounds. Quickly for all the listeners across the pond, that should be something around 2,900 US dollars. And you always have to factor in there's a bit of delivery charge, shipping fee. I think for UK now it should be something about 40 quid. So you should probably factor in another $50-60 to ship the bike to USA. Weight of this bike is 8.1 kilograms. So as I said, definitely not the lightest of the bikes, but this is the price you pay to have a comfortable frame and fork. It's a carbon fiber frame and fork, and since this is the CF-SL range, so it's not top of the line that Canyon can do with carbon fibers. So when I look at the colors of this bike, you got a choice of 3 colors. The first one is what they call the stealth color, asphalt gray. I would just immediately skip that color. It's just not my cup of tea, and it's so boring. Then you have this interesting one, which is basically flash blue, like an electric metallic blue. Definitely interesting color scheme. But definitely my favorite one would be the Hellfire red, and if I'm now purchasing the bike on this price range, I would definitely go with the Hellfire red, and probably this one is going to be also the most popular color with all the buyers. One also headline number is that the guarantee warranty on this bike is 6 years. That's a classic Canyon warranty, 6 years. As you already know, certain bike manufacturers like Giant, like Trek, like Specialized are having a lifetime warranty, so this is something to consider if it really bothers you. In my opinion, you shouldn't be bothered too much. 6 years is more than enough, and probably unless you crash somewhere, you won't have a problem with carbon fiber frames and forks from Canyon. So let's dive in and check out the components and what do you get for 2,250 British pounds, or around 2,900 US dollars. First thing first, the frame and fork. So we got a Canyon Endurace CF-SL frame and fork. As I said, the CF-SL range is not top of the line range from Canyon. They can go up to this SLX range, which basically offers you a lighter carbon fiber frames and forks, but this is perfectly fine for the price range and all the components they are offering here. A bit more details about the frame and fork. Of course, they are ready for the 12mm through axles, so this is now a standard, so there's no surprise there. And I'm not sure if they even say what's the weight of the frame and fork. Well, they don't give it here, but in total, the total bike weight, as I said, they've mentioned it previously, 8.1 kilograms. So I'm guessing this is a size medium or something like 56. So there you have it, a bit of kind of a range of the bike weight. Speaking about the drivetrain on this bike, let's start with the rear mech. So we got a Shimano Ultegra R8000. That's a mechanical group set from Shimano Ultegra, and basically all this bike is built with a mechanical group set. So you got a Shimano Ultegra shifters, Shimano Ultegra front mech, and you also got a Shimano Ultegra rear mech, everything Shimano Ultegra mechanical group set. Cranks are also Shimano Ultegra R8000, and they've included a cassette, again Ultegra level cassette. It is Shimano Ultegra cassette 1134, and the chain, again Shimano's HG701 11-speed chain, which is again an Ultegra level chain. So they definitely didn't cut corners here. And the nice little two additions, in my opinion, are okay, Canyon uses Shimano's press fit bottom brackets, which I personally like, and I think they are the best. Press fit in Shimano's case works perfectly fine, no creaking noises like some other bike manufacturers. And also they've included here a cassette 1134. It's always interesting for me to notice how now 1132, 1134 cassettes are considered kind of normal for the endurance bikes. But a few years ago you could only find them on cross-country mountain bikes, 1132, 1134. But I like them. It makes your life easier when you climb really steep mountains. Moving on to the brakes, we got a Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brake R8020. And so everything from the shifter and brake lever combo, everything is the Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes. Rotors are Shimano's RT800. Again, I can't see here the data for the size of the rotors. I truly hope Canyon didn't cut corners here, and I hope they included 160mm rotors, because that should absolutely be the standard on hydraulic disc brakes today. A wheel set on this bike is a perfectly fine DT Swiss E1800 aluminium wheel set, both front and back. In my opinion, DT Swiss produces brilliant wheel sets, brilliant hubs, so you can't go wrong with DT Swiss. And I think here the whole, so this is 760 grams, this one is 890, so something like 1,650 grams in total for the whole wheel set. So absolutely not the lightest one, but as I say, considering reliability, DT Swiss knows what they are doing. Tires on this bike are Continental's Grand Prix 5000 in 28mm width. I just love them. I think the Continental now does the best bike tires on the market, and you got them in 28mm width, so it's definitely going to soak up a lot of little road bumps, and it's going to really make your ride smooth. It is a true axle frame and fork, of course, and the wheel set is, of course, the true axle wheel set, 12mm 12 by 100 or 12 by 142. That's a standard stuff, nothing special here. Cockpit is the Canyon's, you got a Canyon's own stem, handlebar and handlebar tape, and the handlebars are aluminum handlebars. Again, nothing special here. The stem should also be aluminum stem. They didn't say about the handlebars. Okay, you got a reach of 70mm, but I was thinking something about the width of the handlebar, but they don't mention it here. A saddle comes from Physique Aliante R5, and as I always say, saddles as a personal preference, you shouldn't be stressed too much if you don't like this first saddle that the bike manufacturers offer. You can always test some other saddles and it's easy to change it. Canyon also includes the carbon fiber seat post, what they call the Canyon VCRLS, vertical compliance and lateral stiffness. I think that's what it stands for. But it's always nice. I'm joking a bit. It's brilliant that you have a carbon fiber seat post. This is I'm guessing okay, they don't say here, it's 220 grams of weight, probably like 15mm diameter, so it should soak up it should soak up a lot of little road kind of bumps and really give you even smoother bike rides. You kind of see the theme here of the carbon fiber seat post, little bit wider tires, and a carbon fiber nice frame and fork, which really ticks all the boxes for an endurance road bike. So all in all, I consider this a very, very good offering from Canyon. I mean, it's 2,250 British pounds, or about 2,900 US dollars. Absolutely no complaint about the price, because the equipment that's included is absolutely top notch. And if you are kind of thinking about buying a bike in this price range, especially if it's a more kind of endurance bike, you should definitely consider Canyon. As always, one negative stuff is with Canyon is that you can't test ride these bikes because they have a headquarters in Germany. So unless you want to go to Germany and test drive them, or your friends got one, it could be a bit tricky. But from my experience and from people I know who ordered Canyon bikes, their fitting tool is absolutely perfect, and it will definitely give you the fit you need for the bike frame that you want. So, all in all, this was the 2019 Canyon Endurace CF SL Disc 8.0, 2,250 British pounds, or approximately 2,900 US dollars. And some of the highlights are the carbon fiber frame and fork on the levels of Canyon's CF SL range. You got also a carbon fiber seat post from Canyon, and the group set is the mechanical Shimano Ultegra group set, so a full group set, no cutting corners. Shifters, front mech, rear mech. You got also a chain rings and a chain set. You got a cassette, you got a chain. Everything is on the Ultegra level. Also, you got hydraulic disc brakes, which are Ultegra. It's kind of integrated with the shifters. They don't say the size of the rotors. I truly hope it's 160 millimeters. And you got a wheel set, aluminium wheel set from DT Swiss. And as I always say, DT Swiss produces absolutely amazing wheel sets and hubs, so you can't go wrong with that. And Continental tires on this bike, GP5000, in 28 millimeters width, so you are really ready for long days in the saddle. So I think this is gonna be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, please do subscribe. I will leave all the links in the video description. And as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Pura Vida!